Yo, what's gamer players? It's your boy, Desmond Sharpman, back out here on this Madden NFL 21 franchise mode, and we are here with the 4 o'clock schedule here in week 12. We only have 3 games in the 4 o'clock schedule, and one of them should be a bit interesting. I'm not really sure at this point. We have the Denver Broncos taking on the New Orleans Saints. For the Broncos, they come into this week at 0-10, still searching for their first win on the new season. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, in their first 10 games, they've won 9 and only lost 1 game, which was to San Francisco. And they're looking to keep that. They're looking to keep that going. They come off a huge win in their last game when they defeated the Atlanta Falcons. So they'll be looking to get themselves into the double-digit marks in the wins as well. And the Saints, they're also in the playoffs for the NFC. They're currently number 2 in the NFC playoff picture. Because the Packers are in 3rd and the Eagles are in 4th. Those 4 teams are the division leaders, but the other 3 teams. But the other probably 4 teams that are trying to fight for a spot, Seahawks, Bucks, Rams, and Falcons, those 4 teams are going to be battling for a playoff spot for the rest of these weeks that are coming up. So, if you did not see the rest of week number 12, make sure to go check it out so you won't miss it. And if you missed the last 11 weeks of action, make sure to go check it out as well, so you won't forget any game for any week, so you'll know exactly everything that went down. And the Saints, they're currently leading their division with a 9-1 record. Buccaneers and Falcons are trying to battle it out for second, and the Panthers, they're in 4th place right now, trying to grind themselves up. But with that, let's head up to Empower Field at Mile High in Denver to begin this 4 o'clock schedule to see if the Broncos can end that losing streak finally, or can New Orleans get themselves in the double-digit mark in the win column on the season. Let's find out.
Let me explain what I did. Can I kick it? Hold on. Yeah, I got.
Today, from Empower Field at Mile High in Denver, it's Week 12 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Drew Lock and the Denver Broncos taking on Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints.
We find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. A moment ago, through a shower of pyrotechnics, it was the hometown Broncos taking the field as they get set to do battle with the New Orleans Saints.
And those were the stats for justice in the last game for New Orleans when they defeated the Atlanta Falcons at home.
And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at this Bronco team, you have to wonder where their heads are at as they come in winless on the year at 0-10.
I think a lot of people expect rebuilding years to occur.
All right, so the Saints, they're going to kick it off to the Broncos to start the ball game. The Broncos looking to avoid staying winless like the Washington football team when they lost to the Dallas Cowboys in the Thursday schedule. So we're going to see what happens. And we are underway from Denver.
Fielded in the
And Melvin Gordon, he's not going to return this one, so this one's going to be a touchback. And the Broncos will begin their opening drive.
Set to go behind their quarterback in his second season now from Missouri, Charles. It's Drew Lock.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
Throwing on first down.
On the first play, Lock, and he's going to find DJ Sharp. A gain of 2nd and 7.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers.
And here's Phillip Lindsay. And down he goes, getting it to the 37. First down Broncos, a gain of 10.
Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. I know people see Phillip Lindsay's role in Denver changing a bit with the arrival of Melvin Gordon, but I think Gordon's going to be more of an enhancement for Lindsay. Maybe he won't carry it as often, but now he'll be much more effective as a two-headed monster in the backfield. Both of them can run it inside, get to the perimeter, and catch the ball at the backfield and move the sticks.
And they're going to hand it again to Lindsay. And this time they'll bring him down at the 40. A gain of 2 that time.
It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's
2nd and 8. Lock throwing, and he finds DJ Sharp. And they'll bring him down at the 35-yard line. First down Broncos.
A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Nice job there of utilizing his big target. He didn't overthink it. Understands the catch radius, understands that he knows how to use his body to keep defenders away from the ball, and puts it right out there for the nice pickup.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Lock looking deep in the end zone. And it's dropped.
Physical play on the football.
As he was trying to go back to DJ Sharp, but instead 2nd down.
Their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Lock again here on 2nd and 10. He'll take a
Lock
shot
looking deep again. End zone. DJ Sharp. Touchdown Denver.
The losing streak had taken on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude, because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. But now the try here for the extra point.
So here's Charles Johnson. Extra point is good. And the Broncos up 7-0. Surprisingly.
And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos.
I don't think anybody was expecting the Broncos to take an early 7-0 lead. But they did. And Harris, he's not going to return this one. So Drew Brees and the Saints set to begin their drive.
Drew Brees and his New Orleans offense set to go on attack here for the first time.
Okay, I'm not taking a turn to negative town, even though it's going to sound like it. The 2 interceptions he threw last week, those obviously have to be eliminated, and that was the focus of practice this week. But let's face it, he did throw 3 touchdown passes.
And they got the win.
So I think it was a good week for him to work on things. had some positives. The win being first and foremost.
And here's Justice.
And he'll be upended at the
And he'll go down at the 28-yard
line.
line.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 13 carries, 95 yards.
Well, this is where it becomes a challenge for the offensive coordinator. He's got a bell cow at tailback right now, number 3 in the league in rushing, within shouting distance of the lead. But at the same time, if the passing game is open, he's got to take advantage of that too.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Here's Justice. And the Broncos get to him right at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 24 gives yourself you give yourself
Breeze.
a chance to win.
So if they're up around,
And that one's incomplete as he was looking for Michael Thomas.
Because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
he was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away.
And here's Charles Solomon, and he goes down right at 25.
On the return, and the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. So now the 2nd drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so
And here's Lindsey.
I wouldn't change it up until
And they'll bring him down at the 30, a gain of 5.
Brings him down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure you're back. You spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
From the 30 on 2nd down,
Lock. And that one's complete by DJ Sharp. 1st down, Denver.
right at the 40. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
On 1st and 10, here's Locke.
And that one's not the way.
He threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. The linebacker, Demario Davis, got a hand in to break that one up. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Throwing again. Locke.
No one's open. He's sacked. P.J. Russell, he gets the sack that time.
These teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
So 3rd and long now for Locke and the Broncos following the sack. Locke working out of the gun.
And pressure comes to him, and he's taken down. P.J. Russell again, his second sack in the game.
Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down, you bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
The Broncos' new signee for 2020, Sam Martin, former Lion, on to punt. As he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon.
And Christopher Butler makes a fair catch at the 24.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in 1st place in their division, looking really
Breeze
good.
looking downfield, and that's incomplete as he was looking for Christopher Butler.
Are you one of those those guys, get your list done.
And that ends the first quarter.
What every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the number one goal? Make the playoffs. Number 2, win your division. Number 3, and I think the biggest goal of all, try to get the number 1 seed so you get that first round bye and ensure you don't have to go anywhere in January and hopefully get to the Super Bowl that way.
Second and 10 here for Breeze. And he goes down. Bradley Chubb gets the sack.
Bradley Chubb in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point.
So 3rd and 23 for the Saints.
3rd and long now after the sack of Breeze, and the Saints up against it here. From the gun, it's Breeze.
Breeze looking deep downfield, and he finds Christopher Butler. And he's going to score a New Orleans touchdown.
A big play there. 89 yards. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. It took them a while to get their speedster involved, but they found him downfield there.
And what we've discovered as we've watched games is the speedster doesn't have to have a lot of catches, doesn't have to have volume in order to have a huge impact on the game. His speed scares the heck out of defenses, and other guys can capitalize, but when you finally hit him and he carries it all the way into the end zone, that's what you're paying him for. That big threat that can make big
Will Lutz
plays
puts in the extra point, and the Saints tied up at 7.
Catch, take it to the house. Lutz with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And here's Melvin Gordon. And they'll bring him down at the 23-yard line. And here's DJ Sharp back out there for the Broncos.
And some of his highlights here from this game, he's nearing 100 yards, partner.
And defensive works so hard at how to try to slow down tight ends. It was a lot easier, partner, in the old days, because when they just lined up on the line of scrimmage, you either put a defensive end or a linebacker over them and tried to body them so they couldn't get off the line of scrimmage easy.
And now?
Now, when they split out, detach from the line of scrimmage, you put a linebacker out there, they're often too elusive for them. Shake them and get to the secondary too easily before someone else can try and pick them up.
Lot deep downfield, and that's caught. DJ Sharp, how did he catch that? It was a defender in the area. What?
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on,
look at this.
Consistent.
It was a defender right there. How did he catch that? Oh my gosh, that was a huge mistake by that Saints defense.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Faking the give to Lindsey. Here's Locke.
Lott looking to go deep again, and this time it's incomplete.
The linebacker, Demario Davis, got a hand in to break that one up.
Similar to a shooter in basketball, just connected on the previous shot. They run another set for him on the next play. Now, we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
And here's Lindsey, and he goes nowhere, losing yardage to the 43.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. From the gun.
3rd and 11 here for Locke. And it's incomplete.
As he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
Incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
So look at this.
So the Broncos, they're going to call on the field goal unit. A 60-yard field goal.
On the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard.
Can Charles Johnson get it done? And yes!
He kept it on line and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. And that right there is something we've seen, I don't know, 15 times in NFL history. That will officially go down as a 60-yard field goal.
And everything has to be absolutely perfect for this to have any chance. He's got to get it out low.
And Harris, he's not going to. This one's going to be a touchback.
Heck of a decision on the sideline as well.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And it's Justice. And he'll go down at the 31, a gain of 6.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
And Breeze, and that was not the way.
Backfield, it's incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Working from the gun, it's Breeze.
Breeze, and he's going to find Justice. And they'll bring him down across midfield and at the 45.
3rd down conversion. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 45-yard line.
And it's Justice. And he'll go down inside the 30-yard line. 1st down, New Orleans.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Rolling to
And
his
Breeze,
right.
and this one's incomplete.
As he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course.
As soon as I saw him break contain and get outside, my first thought and my eyes gravitated downfield because nowadays, most of these quarterbacks, when they do that, they want the big play downfield. They don't want to throw it short. In this case, he took the shot. It fell incomplete.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Breeze.
And Breeze, he's sacked. Von Miller, he gets the sack.
Von Miller, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Third and long now after the sack of Breeze, and the Saints up against it here. Shotgun now for Breeze.
And Breeze throws incomplete.
And it leads to a fourth down.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find.
So Will Luck on for the Saints field goal.
And force that incompletion.
A 57-yarder. And he's got it. And he ties the game.
That was bombs away right there. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs.
And Melvin Gordon, he's not going to return this one, so this one's going to be a touchback.
Athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Tie ball game, still a little more than a minute to go in the half. The question, can they put something together here, try to take that lead into intermission?
I would have to think that would be the goal for sure. I don't think you sit on anything here. Here's your opportunity. Push it downfield. As you mentioned, it's a tie game. So minus a disaster on your part, you've got that in your back pocket.
Lott, nowhere to go. He's sacked. Josh Williams, gosh, he picks up the sack.
Sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their third one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack.
Lott gets hit again, and it's incomplete.
This will be incomplete.
Well, as we get ready for third down, let's go back and recap here. The sack on the first play of this drive, that threw a wrench in what they were trying to accomplish because they were compelled to throw the ball on 2nd down. A running play was not in the works. And that incompletion set up another passing down here on 3rd down.
And Philip Lindsay on 3rd down, and he goes down at the 16-yard line.
And it'll bring up 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
And Christopher Butler, and he'll go down at the 33-yard line.
And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The New Orleans offense set to take over. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a play fake.
Breeze. And that was caught by Butler. And he'll go down inside the 45-yard line.
As it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
The Saints, first down.
Breeze now on 1st down.
And Breeze, he's sacked.
And he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris.
And the Saints, they're going to use a timeout.
With 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2.
So 2nd and 19 with 5 seconds left.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. A final shot before
Breeze.
Breeze.
And he's going to find Christopher Butler. And with 1 second left, the Saints call a timeout. So I'm pretty sure that was enough to get him into field goal range.
So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will be from 56 yards out.
Will Luck from 56 yards out to give the Saints the lead at halftime. And it is good. Will Lutz does it again. He gives the Saints a 13-10 lead at halftime.
So we've hit field goal separating these two teams at the break. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL.
Next up, we're going to be at the new SoFi Stadium in Englandwood as the LA Rams get set to host the San Francisco 49ers in a rematch. Then we're going to be in Tampa Bay, home of the Super Bowl. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In our game, it was the right arm of Drew Brees that led the way in the first half. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game. As we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The first half for both teams, okay. But I don't know where has been the Broncos playing that well has been. Where has that been all season? Because as soon as they got the ball to start the game, they went right down the field and scored. Where has that been all season? But the Saints are going to get the ball to start the second half now. And this one's not going to be returned, so this one's going to be a touchback.
So here are the Saints to take over. They've got the lead right now, and last week they were able to defeat the Atlanta Falcons here as they try to make it 2 victories in a row. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. On play action, now Brees.
Brees, play action, and it's incomplete.
There, and it forces it incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
And here's Justice. And he'll go down at the 42-yard line. 1st down, New Orleans.
Pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Right back to him.
And they're going to hand to Justice again. And he'll go down across midfield at the 45.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Justice running. And he'll go down at the 41. A gain of 4.
Every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
From the 41.
Brees over the middle to Christopher Butler. And he'll go down at the 21-yard line. 1st down, New Orleans.
A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice 1st down. Drive keeps moving.
Brees. And this time he finds Thomas. And he'll go down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
But he's got one here, and he also picks up a 1st down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And here's Justice, and he's in for a Saints touchdown.
And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because
that's any extra point. And the Saints, they now lead by 10.
You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick.
And Gordon, he's not going to return this one. This one's going to be a touchback.
Come out to the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things work.
And here's Phillip Lindsay. And not much there. He picks up a gain of only a yard.
And try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little
Lock. And he's going to find DJ Sharp. And he'll go down inside the 30-yard line.
Inside the 30. It's a big play there for the Broncos. 45 yards.
I really don't know where has this been all season. Throwing the football well, finding receivers. I don't know where has that been all season.
And that's a good start right there.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Throwing now is Locke. Flush to his
Locke. And that's intercepted. Josh Williams-Goss picks it.
It's a foot race.
And Josh Williams-Goss. And he takes it all the way to the 3-yard line.
About the 3-yard line. Well, young quarterback.
Boy, oh boy, Williams-Goss almost took that to the house.
Is that one that maybe a veteran sticks in his pocket?
I think so, but you have to remember with young quarterbacks, it may take a few years before they get all the stuff out of them that they did earlier in their career or even in their college days when they were used to being dominant. In this case, the NFL veteran
Breeze.
defense.
And he's going to find Jared Cook. Touchdown New Orleans.
Jared Cook, his second touchdown on the season. And the Saints take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash in for 6.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run, and he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Lutz will look to add the extra point.
Will Lutz for the extra point. And he's got it to make it a 27-10 game.
Moves to 17. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone.
So Denver ends up turning the ball over. It was almost a pick 6, but the Saints extend their lead. So the Broncos set to come back out.
At their own 25-yard line.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And the interception last time on the opponent's side of the field, certainly not what they wanted.
Put it mildly, that is so frustrating because that signifies there's a drive going on. You're in good spot, great place to run some of your best offense, Instead, they turn the ball over.
Yeah, turned the ball over last time.
And Locke, he goes down.
He's taken down. Nigel Bradham in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
On second down,
And here's Lindsey.
it's Lindsey.
And he'll go down at the 7-yard line.
Give him 2 on the run. They need a lot more than that coming up here on third down.
Brings up third down.
Shotgun snap to Locke.
Locke, and he's sacked in the end zone for a safety.
Got him today, and this one results in a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on,
And here's
come on, come up
Harris.
to 6.
That's a lot of points.
And they'll bring him down
Able
at
to
the
get this
25-yard
out to the
line.
25. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it.
And here's Justice. He gets leveled.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And
A
again,
loss of a
second
yard.
score here in the third quarter. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, that kind of hit will certainly fire up your team both on the field and on the sideline. Tackles for lost yardage, they're always welcome.
Now a
And
handoff
Justice
here.
running up the middle.
4 yards on the pickup
And they'll
there,
bring
so
him
you get
down
back to a more
at the
manageable
28.
37.
Brings up third down.
28-yard line.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Saints on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
And here's Justice on 3rd and 7. And they stop him short of the first.
Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now. Charles, you said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points.
And the Saints, they're going to stay out there to go for it on 4th and 2.
Because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
And Breeze finding Justice wide open. And he picks up a first down at midfield at the 50.
For 17 yards on 4th. Couldn't ask for much more from your offense there. First down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down. Trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance.
Not even trailing at all.
And they did.
Gonna give this time to the tailback.
And Justice.
Give him a couple on the carry.
He picks up a gain of only 2. 2nd and 8.
Is altitude a factor for a visiting team in Denver? Is that something that's overplayed?
No, it's real. And I know a lot of the visiting teams like to downplay it because they don't want to get into the heads of their players. But you can't avoid it. As soon as you get to the locker room, you get to the stadium, they always post it in there. Welcome to Denver. Altitude 5,280 feet.
And Justice again. And he'll go down inside the 40. At the 39.
It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero.
And they're going to hand it to Justice, and he goes backwards.
They can't score.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
They'll try and run some
And
clock
Justice.
keep it on the ground.
And he'll go down inside the 30 to the 28.
13, it's a first down. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They're going to hand it to Kamara.
Pro Bowler in all 3 of his NFL seasons.
And he'll pick up a gain of 2, getting it to the 26.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And Kamara, man, he gets taken down mean, vicious.
2 on first down and just 1 yard there.
And it's third down.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Breeze on third down.
Breeze, and he's going to find Justice.
Man out of the backfield. That's complete.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line as the drive continues.
12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
And they're going to hand it to Justice again. And he'll go down at the 2-yard line.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And here's Justice, and he's in for a Saints touchdown.
To the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Steps away.
Breeze. And that one's caught by Justice, and he gets the 2-point conversion.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes that's a way of catching up with you.
And Gordon, he's not going to return this one, so this one's going to be a touchback. And unfortunately for Denver, that losing streak is going to continue.
We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter.
On first down,
Lock, no one's open, and this one's incomplete.
As he threw it, and it took the ball off course.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Locke will try again on second down.
And Locke goes down.
Pressure gets him.
P.J. Russell gets the sack.
Right now, That's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on
The
hips,
Broncos were doing so well in that first half, but the
Yeah,
Saints just locked them up. They just kept locking up the receivers ever since.
So 3rd and long now for Locke and the Broncos following the sack. From the gun, Locke.
And Locke is sacked again.
They get him back at his own 3-yard line.
Well, these guys want to do something positive as this game approaches its end, but after giving up back-to-back sacks, it's really been more indicative of how the game has gone for them.
A field goal would tie it, but they want more. They're going for it.
And Locke, and it's incomplete, and that's gonna do it.
3 seconds left. The linebacker Demario Davis got a hand in to break that one up. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal.
So this one's in the books. The New Orleans Saints, they're gonna get their 10th win on the season here, winning 37-10 against the Broncos, who dropped to 0-11 on the season.
So this one a victory here for New Orleans, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution.
Broncos were playing well in that first half.
And maybe doing the things
they just collapsed in the second half.
Just doing them better, and that got it done in this one.
So for the Saints, they get win number 10 on the year as they move to 10-1. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, the losses continue to mount as they drop to 0-11 on the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Wow. Poor Denver. They had a great first half with the Saints, and it was a 13-10 lead at halftime. But in the second half, the Saints just poured it on, locked up the Broncos receivers as the Saints get the victory, 37-10, as they get win number 10 on the season. So here are the stats: Drew Brees, 217 throwing it, two touchdowns with no interceptions. Drew Lock, he played well, 153 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But his team just couldn't get it done in that second half of play. And here's the rushing: Justice, 17 carries, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Philip Lindsay, 7 carries, 23 yards. And Alvin Kamara ran twice for 3 yards. And here's the receiving: DJ Sharp was the only man to catch the football for Denver that whole time. So the rest of the receivers for Denver were locked up. But DJ Sharp caught the ball 6 times, 153 yards, and a touchdown. Christopher Butler, 4 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Justice, 3 catches, 54 yards. Michael Thomas, a catch for 14. And Jared Cook, a catch for 3 yards and a touchdown. So for New Orleans, they get win number 10 on the season as they move to 10-1. And they'll get another road test in week 13 as they head to Atlanta to face off with the Falcons. Meanwhile, for Denver, the losses continue to pile up as they fall to 0-11 on the season. And they'll look to make amends in their next game as they head up to Kansas City to face off with the defending champs, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
telescope. You erase all the calls from a telephone. No sense of smile, maybe tell a joke. Holding back your tears, singing minimal.
Alright, so if you enjoyed this game, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And the next game, we're going to be in the new SoFi Stadium. The LA Rams, they're going to be taking on the San Francisco 49ers in a rematch. And let's see how the Rams can respond against that running game for San Francisco.
They don't know my name.